Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play Pokemon Yellow with me, Amanda. We have jumped forward in time to Saffron City. Ha, check that out. Yes, so here we are, and hold on tight because this is the longest thing I will do, I'm sure, because I'm so bad at self-company and remembering what platforms to jump around. This part in the game is the one that I remember specifically being the one thing that I could not do, and it took me forever to do it, and I finally had to buy one of those books, the walkthrough books, so I could figure out what platforms I was supposed to be on. And like when I finished it, I just felt like I went over the top of the hill. I crossed the mountain and I'm on the other side, and it's all downhill from here, and it kind of is. When you think about it, because this is like the big thing besides later on that gets rid of Team Rocket. So it's the big mid-quill boss battle thing, whatever. Alright, so I have another very long list of, well, not very long, mildly long list of questions to go through. This one is specifically for... Not specifically for, but the title of it is Ask Me Stuff While I'm Busy Vlogging, so I figure that that might be a good a good topic to go over while I'm recording audio for a video that I have done and you're watching, and other obvious statements that you are already aware of. Alright, so let's just hop off at number 1. Do you want a boyfriend or girlfriend? I would like to have a boyfriend. I am fully aware, however, that to have a significant other in your life, then you need to be the kind of person that people want to date, not just, you know, you have your own set of specific things that you are looking for in a significant other. So, you know, you need to also have, you know, the things that other people are looking for in a relationship. And I kind of have some things. I could definitely talk your ear off about Pokemon or Doctor Who, or a couple of other nerdy things, but other than that, maybe not so much. So I'm kind of working on that, specifically the having money to help pay for dates, because it's 21st century. I like to take guys out on dates sometimes. It's a good time, fun thing to do. Or, you know, split the bill or whatever. And I'm also just really bad at coming up with free date ideas. Like, anything you can do for free, I don't... how do free things? I'm really bad at being poor because I don't know how to do stuff that's free. So yeah, I'm working on, you know, the being a stable person, and being a person who does exciting things that a significant other would like to do with me. So, you know, I'd like to do that, but I'm aware that I also need to be a better person before people want to date me. Okay, so number 2, when did your last hug take place? Like 20 minutes ago, when my mom came downstairs and hugged me before she had to go to bed, because she has to work in the morning, so I'm going to be up later than her. Number 3, are you a jealous person? Yes, I'm a very jealous person. That's a flaw of mine, that I get very clingy and jealous of other people. Not if, like, good stuff happens to them and I know they deserve it. More if it's good stuff happens to them and I don't feel like they deserve it happening. And it could just be that I have a grudge against them for some reason, for possibly something that happened like 10 years ago, and I just haven't let go of it because, you know, whatever insignificant thing that I perceived as a really big thing. But mostly I'm jealous of people, people who get close to people that I don't want them to be close to. Interpret that as you will, but, you know, sometimes I'm just like, but why are you with that person doing fun things when you could be doing fun things with me? Or I could have gone with you on those fun things, and we could have all done fun things together. That's probably why they didn't invite me to do the fun thing. Are you tired right now? Number 4, Not really. I'll probably be tired in like half an hour or so, but right now I'm good. I'm fine. Thanks for asking though. Number 5, do you chew on your straws? Yeah, I don't really know people who don't chew on their straws. I have an oral fixation, har har har. Or, you know, if you look at my hands, if you ever meet me, my nails are bitten to hell, and my cuticles are bleeding, and I always am gnawing on something, chewing on pen caps, whatever. So, you know, I'm always gnawing on something or other. So, of course, straws fall in that category because those go in your mouth. Number 6, have you ever been called a tease? Oh, yeah, I have. Sometimes undeservedly, because I wasn't being the real tease in that situation, in the long term anyway. But yeah, I've been called a tease. Sometimes I do it on purpose because it's kind of fun, and then, you know, reaping the benefits of that later, because there are some benefits of it, depending on who you're doing it to. I try not to do it to people who aren't going to reciprocate in some way, shape, or form, just because it's not fair, and also that's putting yourself in a possibly dangerous situation, and I like to look out for myself. By the way, I'm listening to the Dark Knight soundtrack. Actually, no, the Dark Knight Rises soundtrack, and it's really, really intense right now. So me talking about being a tease while listening to some really intense Hans Zimmer music is kind of a fun juxtaposition. Anyway, number 7. Have you ever been awake for 48 hours straight? Almost. This one time at band camp, the funny thing about that statement is I did play the flute in high school. But yeah, my senior day, night, senior time, you know, Thursday of band camp, we would go away for band camp where I went to school. We went to a university and we stayed in one of the dorms, and, you know, it was like extreme band bonding time, and, you know, we had to be there and we had to practice 3 times a day, all that. And well, actually 3 times a day on the field for, no. Yes? No? Maybe? Yes. 3 times. 3 times in the afternoon or 3 times a day in the field, and then once in the band hall when it was hot outside, when it like the heat of the day, and then we were inside in the air conditioning, and then we would just practice the music. That way we could get off the music as quickly as possible. So yeah, the Thursday of band camp Thursday night was senior night. So, you know, we get up at 7:30 so we can go have breakfast and then go down to the field. Then at the last practice of the day, seniors got let back to the dorms early so we could shower and, you know, look nice for senior night. And then, you know, we'd go around, you know, everybody, there's cake and seniors saying, "Oh, we love you guys so much. Thanks for 6 years, or 5 years." Yeah, 5 years when I was in, because my high school was 7 through 12, and you could join band. You can join marching band in the 8th grade. So, you know, 8th grade through 12th grade, that's 5 years. You know, thanks, and I'll really miss blah blah blah, and thanks so much for you know, the whole long sappy, the first of many, many, many sappy senior nights. So then we would do, seniors in my band, we would have this tradition of, we'd all sleep together, not like that. You know, we'd all be in one common area together, and we'd have our sleeping bags, our mattresses, and pillows and everything, and we all just have like a group sleepover in one room. It was the last night that we would all be together like that in one spot. And, you know, we'd have snacks and we watch movies and cards, but then when everybody else went to bed, that's when we trashed the hallways and, you know, fart bombs and rice everywhere and shaving cream on the toilet seats. You know, the prankiest pranks ever. And then we would wake up the new kids, and they would have, like, the young ones, and they would have to clean up. But by this point, like, that's what happened when I was in 8th grade. My first year it was part of the initiation ritual, possibly known as hazing. You know, you'd get your room trashed and you'd have to clean it up, and, you know, everybody would do it, and that was your initiation, to being in the band and, you know, solidifying whatever. But when I was a senior, we had gotten in enough trouble with other people about various hazing techniques that we used, which were never, they were, you know, it was the standard, like, okay, you're going to be a little bit tired, you're going to, you know, sleep deprivation, slight sleep deprivation, as in you're getting 5 hours of sleep a night instead of 8. Ooh, big deal. Carrying up the seniors' trays, you know, carrying the seniors' instruments, unless it was a drum, because then the drummers would all do it themselves. Dressing up in weird costumes, nothing too bad, and you know, some people would misinterpret it, or you know, people would get their feelings hurt in ways that we weren't intending to, but things happen. So we got in enough trouble at that point that we had to, when I was a senior, it was we woke up the new kids and let them start cleaning for like an hour, and then after that point we made sure that they got the worst of it, because that was the point, and then we would pitch in and help them after that, and then send them to bed after like another hour or something like that. And then so we were up for a while after that, and then we finally all, after everything was cleaned up, we all fell asleep about, oh, I don't know, about 6 or so, because we were up and we were talking and playing cards and whatnot. We got like 2 hours of sleep before the band moms came in and woke us up, because we were allowed to sleep a little bit later because we'd been up the night before. But we all seriously got like 2 hours of sleep, and we all went down to the field, and then the band director made us run laps because, you know, the quote-unquote punishment for hazing the new kids, you know, that was the, I don't even remember why we had, it might have been because we had done something that the band director didn't like we did something to her room, and she was just pissed off about that, or to make an example of us or whatever, but yeah, we had to run laps, and that was, you know, great on 2 hours of sleep, and then I powered through the rest of that day, and then, you know, the final concert of the day with the parents, yeah, the parents coming in and seeing and picking all the kids up, and then, you know, by the time I got home, I kept going, and I was able to go until about midnight or so, and then I just crashed, and I slept for the next 12 hours, so almost 48 hours with, like, a nap. I'm gonna call that 2 hours a nap, a power nap, to get through. So after that very long, convoluted story, kind of, I have stayed up for 48 hours, almost 46 hours. I'm gonna call that a really good go, because that was seriously exhausting, and I really can't remember most of it. I can remember the main points, but I can't remember most of it. Okay, so number 8, do you cry easily? I used to not, and I'm trying to get better at not crying so easily now. It depends on, honestly, I'm going to say it depends on my hormone levels, because there are certain times when I cry at the drop of a hat, and other times where I'm just like, oh, I'm in an uncomfortable, sad situation, going to run away and tear now, okay, bye. Number 9, what should you be doing right now? Probably going to bed and keeping a normal sleep schedule. Yeah, that sounds about right. Number 10, are you a heavy sleeper? I don't know, because I just, it depends on where I'm at in the sleep cycle, because you know, some things, you know, it depends on if it penetrates my, penetrates my subconscious enough where whatever's happening becomes part of the dream, and then I wake up because of it. So I don't know if that constitutes as a heavy sleeper, but I know that it doesn't really, you know, I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I'm a heavy sleeper. How do you find that out? Is there a way you can find that? Is there like, do I have to do a sleep study or something? I don't know how that. Yeah, I really don't know. All right. 11. Do you think you can last in a relationship for 6 months? Yeah. For if it's somebody that I like, and I'm gonna say yes, just because I don't get into relationships unless I'm really certain that I really do like that person. Like if I have this thing where if somebody asks me out, in my brain, I immediately, like, my brain and my mouth go at way separate speeds. Like somebody will ask me something and the answer will pop into my head, but I will just stand there blinking at them for a second, and then my mouth catches up, and I've already rewritten the answer about 12 times in my head, and then I will say the final answer that I have. So somebody I worked with asked me out, and my immediate reaction in my brain was, "Oh my God, no." Because I really didn't know this guy, and I don't really like to just go out with people if I don't like them, because I don't know what their deal is. And I realize that that's kind of the point of dating, is to find out what somebody's deal is. But where I was working, I already kind of had this preformed idea of what his deal was, and I was like, no, definitely not. But then I kind of rewrote the answer a couple times in my head, and said, no, sorry, but, and I gave him this reason, and it was a legitimate reason, that I don't want to say, just in case. But yeah, I really just, no. So, but there's other people who, I have had a mutual crush on, and then, said yes or no based on that. That didn't make sense. So my only real boyfriend that I count, you know, I said yes to because I had liked him for a long time. And then we were together for 4 years. But the other kind of boyfriend, quote unquote, that I had was this guy in junior high school, and really, who counts junior high school relationships? And we dated quote unquote for like 3 days. And he just kind of really weirded me out in that period. And I kind of, you go to school with somebody, but you don't really know what they're like until they're calling you 4,000 times a day, and you're like, whoa, what is your problem? And that kind of based my, that kind of formed my basis for how I handle all relationships in the future, I think, is don't date somebody if they're going to call you a million times a day. So yeah, I think I can, just because I tend to just date people that I already know on some level. Yeah, really weird answer, I know, but yes, I'm gonna say yes, I can last in a relationship for more than 6 months, or for at least 6 months. Hopefully more than that, because, by that point I've already invested half of a year, so, in it to win it, man. That was weird. Alright, so we are wrapping up here, and thank you for watching. Amanda plays Let's Play Pokemon Yellow, and I will see you next time as we continue this merry trip through this really enormous corporation building. Okay, see you next time. Bye.